Hey there, welcome to my newest Let's Play series. I'm gonna play Darkest Dungeon, including the new Crimson Court DLC. My name is Icon, and I'm gonna play this thing with you, and I'm gonna put up some new estate with the new stuff that got included a month ago with the new DLC. And yeah, let's get going. I'm gonna go for a normal setting here. I don't feel like Blood Moon yet, but I feel like doing one Blood Moon one day maybe. So this is gonna be just an icons. Alright, let's call it just icon. Let's do it like that. It's the icon estate. Gotta retake my old estate, bring it to new glory. So I'm gonna skip this intro video and go over the tutorial with you guys and do some planning around this series, because my plan here is to get a full playthrough here. That means finish the game once, including the new DLC, because I feel like it brings in a lot of new things, and I actually didn't play this DLC yet too much. I only tried to play it when it got freshly released, but those guys over at Red Hook have the tendency to put out too hard content from the beginning of the game. And I'm gonna try to explain as much as I can along the way to show you guys how I make my decisions, what's my idea behind which turns I take, and yeah. Darkest Dungeon is a turn-based gothic RPG, and it features a lot of interesting features, including no save option. And right now we're just running through the tutorial, and we're getting some info texts here which I don't need. Basically every one of these dudes has 4 skills active. You can learn up to 8, and you always gotta decide which skills have to be active. And for now we're gonna do this attack, which will inflict a bleeding debuff in this brigand, which is actually pretty nice. Normally you can have a party of up to 4 members, but right now we're just on our way to our estate and to pick new adventurers up, and for now it's only good old Renault and his friend Dismas. And one special feature about this game is that every hero has good quirks and bad quirks, so this guy is kleptomaniac and he's God-fearing, can only pray for stress relief. So yeah, this is certainly some interesting game setup, and I'm glad this new DLC got released. Let's slice up the big dude here. This tutorial is pretty straightforward. It's just a few enemies to kill and not too much to talk about. I think the coming dungeons will be much more interesting. Right now it's just to show you how everything works. Got a few different skills, but right now I want to bring down the big dude here in front, because he's certainly doing more damage than this guy in the back. Alright. Next hit is gonna bring him down to 2, and the bleeding will do the rest. So the interesting thing about Darkest Dungeon is that every decision, every occurrence is permanent. You can't go back and make a different decision, and I did a lot of Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup videos lately, and I felt like this game perfectly fits into the roguelike experience where every decision is permanent. And yeah, expect me to explain some more after this tutorial is done, but this tutorial is pretty straightforward, like I said. And Dismas got a few bad quirks, but that's not too harsh actually. Minus 15% damage in first round. Well, a bit annoying, but over the time these guys all rack up all manners of bad habits and stuff. And here we are.
This squalid hamlet, these corrupted lands, they are yours now, and you are bound to them.
Yeah, this corrupted lands, and looks like an absolute mess here. And first thing we're gonna do is go over to the stagecoach and pick up some new guys. You can see here how many people you can still pick up.
All will find their way to us now that the
And yeah,
Most will end up here, covered in
just clicking through these exclamation marks because
merciful oblivion.
right now there's nothing here left to do.
You will know the tragic extent of my failings.
And I feel like I gotta turn down the narrator for this. As cool as it may be, I feel like it's not good if two people keep talking here. And you, my ancestor, have talked and done enough here. It's a grim story here. So that's the dungeon selection screen, and every time you start out with this game, you get the same heroes. So what are his skills? You get the incision, you get the battlefield medicine, the plague grenade, and noxious blast. That's actually a good set to stand on the third place. And yeah, she has 3 skills she can use from the last place at least. And yeah, we're going for our first dungeon here, which has the goal to explore 90% of the rooms. It's pretty easy to achieve, and it's basically only the extended arm of the tutorial here. Although I'm gonna get a nice trinket here. It's certainly useful. So we're going to the provision slot, because in this game you always have to decide which provisions you will take. And we're gonna stock up on food, because you can heal with food, and your heroes also need food along the way because they get hungry. And if you can't feed them, you get some debuffs from that, some damage, some stress. And I'm gonna pick up some torches, some keys, some more holy water, stuff you will need along the way. I'm gonna explain for what. If you're already into this game, you can ignore all these ramblings about stuff that's pretty obvious, but I want to make this Let's Play series a bit detailed, as detailed as possible, to give you guys an impression how deep this game actually is, and to cover up as much details as possible. Quickly said. Alright, so that's the dungeon we're having. Our objective is to scout out 90% of the rooms. That's usually one less room than the map has to offer, so we're going for the first corridor here. And we have no scouting, so this is our first curio. Curios are all manner of things you can interact with. In this scenario we get a new torch. Not bad. We can use some light. Because along the way your torches grow dim, and the less torchlight you have, the more dangerous the enemies will get, and the better the loot will get. So in some situations you want to go for dim light to maximize your profits. But right now we want to keep it beautifully lit and everything, because these characters are all beginners. They're at a low level here, and they're not up for fighting in the darkness. Light has many different influences on the game, and that right now we're on dim light, and this already increases the stress level of our party here. And actually I'm gonna turn off the subtitles here, because the narrator is cool and everything, but I strongly suggest you do that on your own games. Alright, so let's open up the strongbox. This is a room reward for clearing up this room fight, which was indeed pretty easy. These 2 skeletons didn't put up too much of a fight. Next curio is this rubble. You need a shovel to dig through these, or your party will take stress and damage. And now we drop down to Shadowy, and as you can see, the monsters gain accuracy and damage. The heroes get a higher chance to be surprised, and that means the enemies will take the first turn. But we also have some loot extra and also some chance to surprise the monsters. But we can also put up the torches during the fight, and I want to see this radiant light buff. It gives plus to dodge, plus to scouting, and right now with some beginner characters that's pretty good. So this triple fight here, I'm gonna pick the Grapeshot Blast because it will hit the first 3 targets. It's certainly useful. And next attack will gonna be the Plague Grenade that will do 4 damage per round as long as this guy is blighted. If he gets blighted. Nope, he didn't do me the favor. Zealous Accusation will do 2 will do damage on the first two guys. So we're clearing up here pretty easily. This is meant to be, like I said, the extended arm of the tutorial here. And I'm certainly getting lucky here. Lots of dodging going on. So skeletons feature a lot of bleeding resistance, so this skill is actually not too useful. But instead I'm going to go for the pistol shot and try to take out this cultist. Their main attack here does basically stress. They're not damage dealers, they're stress dealers, because your characters also have an HP bar and a stress bar. Once that stress bar fills up, bad stuff happens. Usually. That's the basic mechanics here. And inventory slots are limited, which means it's not too easy to pick up the loot, because you will find in most scenarios more loot than you have in inventory slots, and it should try you to throw away your useful resources and grab up more loot, because you will need money and everything to build up your mansion. You need those relics here from the dungeons around to build up the mansion, and yeah, inventory management is certainly part of the game. And this time our heroes got surprised, which means the formation got shuffled up. That's in most scenarios a very bad thing to happen, because you notice he can only use these skills anymore. So I'm not gonna move, yet still I could. Instead I'm gonna take a shot on this cultist, because I really wanna reduce the amount of stress that will occur in this fight as much as possible. For this guy, I'm gonna swap behind, because he can really do not much, and I know that my paladin here is especially set back if he's not on the first two spots. That's basically the idea behind this. And I certainly get lucky with all these dodges. Triple dodge, that's unusual, but I take that. So, most of the paladin's skills are in the front row. That's why I wanted him not back there and swap back with the Plague Doctor. Alright. We cut down first skeleton here. It's certainly useful that she has a frontline skill here, although I prefer to have a set formation for my party. And we're keep shooting at this cultist here. And the plague grenade should do the job here. And again, the 20% troll me. So my character here went bleeding, which is some damage over time debuff, but these monsters here are pretty weak. And I'm gonna use these easy dungeons mainly to explain the character classes, explain their skills, their uniquenesses, and everything along the way. But for now, we're just gonna clear through this, and there is a chest. And for this chest, you can open it just like this, but then there is a chance that a trap will spring. When you bring in the key, it will always open with some extra loot, and that's what I want to do. And it's basically the idea behind bringing all these resources. With this button you can set up the starting order again. Very, very useful. And let's keep going here. Okay, light grows dim. I'm gonna put up some more torches here. And there's the first trap. We didn't scout that, but again, lucky dodges all the way. Usually I get hit way more along the first dungeon. And I'm gonna eat some food, because you can also use that as a means of healing. I want to be well prepared for the coming fights here. And we're gonna move forward here. And there goes Renault, going kleptomaniac on us. And this basically means that he will sometimes open loot containers and keep the loot for himself. And we even had to see what he all took away. Here's the hunger aspect. My party needs food, but will consume 4 food and regain some health, or I will eat nothing and take 20% damage plus stress, because it certainly doesn't feel like a successful expedition if you're out of food. So the basic idea of this game is that you inherit this old mansion, and there's a lot of spooky stuff going around here. and these expeditions should uncover the truth about the doings around this mansion. It's certainly a very atmospheric setting, and some very good gameplay too. And this is some really nasty team. This could be a very dangerous fight. So these dudes are also mainly stress damagers. These guys are tanks, and you can see their protection value, which cuts down incoming damage by the given percentage. And yeah, so this is the first fight I want to strategize a bit upon. So since I know he has the calm trait, I want to put up the tracking shot. This does almost no damage. The damage is decreased by 80%, but he will buff himself for a bit. I'm gonna shoot on this dude. It's only 2 points of damage, but along the way he will now get a lot stronger by that. I'm gonna toss a plague grenade in the back line, because that always affects the last two slots and deals a tremendous amount of damage over time. So these two guys are basically already dead. They will die in the time being due to the degeneration of the blight. And my Plague Doctor got beaten up pretty hard, so I'm gonna tell my Vestal to heal him up a bit. And if the HP of one of your guys drops to 0, they're not yet dead. They reach the status of death's door, where, well, it's a percentage chance if they die the next time they take damage or not. It's kind of a gamble. But it's certainly valuable to know that hitting 0 HP is not your death. So this guy has only 3 HP left, and he will die as soon as his next action begins. So I'll rather shoot this guy, and now these two will die before they can take any other action. So I'm gonna switch over and rather attack these two guys, because there's no reason to attack them anymore. They will die by themselves. I'm gonna heal up a bit more. So for the next action I want to take the Smite on the Bone Soldier, because I really want to take down as many targets as I can in a quick succession. That's one very, very important strategizing about this game, because you always got to remember an enemy with only 1 HP left will hit equally strong as a full HP enemy, so whenever you can take out an enemy, take him out. But we got this pretty good. I found a new trinket, which brings debuff skill chance. Right now I don't even have characters which can debuff, so we're just gonna pick this up. And we've explored 90% of the rooms, and now I could leave the dungeon or continue. And since this chest is unopened, I'm gonna continue. And put a key into that and pick up more relics of my ancestry, which will help me. I want to pick up this room. I mean, I could already end the dungeon and get the reward for that, but every time a dungeon proves to be very easy, I tend to get into there and try to finish the rest and bring up some more loot out of this dungeon, because, well, it's well worth it, but only if you can afford taking a few more fights. So let's proceed here. We're running into another trap. Traps do damage and debuffs and stress because, well, it's not a nice experience to run into a trap. Alright, so there's another curio in this room and a few skeletons, but that's actually nothing I'm too scared about. Again, I'm going to use the tracking shot to buff this guy up, and this skill got recently changed. It used to only wear for 3 rounds. It is, but now it's up the whole battle, which is a real big improvement. So I'm gonna put down a plague grenade on this guy because these arbalists are real strong damage dealers. I'm gonna bring some further attack into the back line, and I'm not able to finish him off because my Crusader only can kill the first 2 enemies with his skills, so I'm unable to finish off the Arbalest, but that's okay. He will get in one shot. Yeah, forget what I was saying. Screw that guy. He got in a lucky crit, which certainly hurt like hell. Yeah. So what we're gonna do, This guy will die by the damage over time, so I'm gonna put down an incision and crit myself, which boosts the confidence and gives some stress relief. And yeah, another crit. They deserved it. So we got this room, and this curio you can use some holy water upon, and it'll reduce some of the stress and heal her up. So we're pretty set here. Let's have this scouting success. Scouting is a very valuable mechanic because you will see what lies ahead. You can see traps and disarm them instead of blundering into them like I did. But now, as we did the scouting, here's nothing left to find, so we can leave the dungeon here and grab our rewards. Alright, that's some gold and a few relics. So let's head over here and see. That's the experience. It's called Resolve in this game. And all my guys went to Resolve level 1. Okay, these two were already on Resolve level 1. And something new. Okay, she has minus 10% stress healed, and it's quicker if the torch goes below 26. So, the thing about stress in this game is that you will heal up your whole HP when you get into town, but you will not lose your stress when you get into town. So, always, if you can, try to avoid stress as much as you can, because it's certainly cumbersome to get rid of it. So we got back into the estate here. We unlocked the abbey where we can put down heroes to get some stress relief. And we got the tavern. This basically works the same. And our caretaker is having a spot in the brothel. And we're gonna have a look at the stagecoach and pick up some new recruits. That's the Antiquarian and the Houndmaster. Very interesting characters. And I certainly want to try them out. And that's for now, episode 1. I think I'm going to talk a bit more about this hamlet. Every single building can be upgraded with the relics I found. And I really want to have an increased number of available heroes every week, because 2 is a bit low. I want to increase the hero barracks, but not right now. I have still 3 spots left, so I don't want to waste these. I could go for the Abbey and upgrade this, and this will increase stress recovery, and yeah, I'm not fulfilling these prerequisites, but I don't feel like upgrading these now. Really want to wait for the other buildings to show up, which will happen when I complete more adventures. So there's the new district system, which got introduced with the DLC. I haven't seen it yet. I'm really looking forward to find this out. And yeah, our next adventure is forced to be in the ruins again. And that's where we're gonna continue on the next episode. For now, that's the introduction to my Let's Play series here. I'm really looking forward to complete this because this is a very fun game, and it's certainly pretty challenging because you can't go back. Every mistake hurts a lot. And sometimes you just get unlucky, and lucky crits happen, or unlucky crits, that is. So, yeah, let's wrap up episode 1, and I certainly hope you enjoy this. Although, right now, episode 1 was not too brim-packed with action, because the tutorial always goes like that, and you can't skip it out. Something I'm not too happy with, to be quite honest. Yet still, Red Hook did a great job on this game, and I'm really looking forward to complete this series. Alright, so let's wrap up this episode right here, and I hope we'll see you again soon in the next episode. Leave me some comments or some thumbs if you like. I really love to hear some feedback on my work here, and yeah, let's see on the next episode, and enjoy your time until then. Bye bye.